good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you. The number of the tube. Hope you're today are feeling grand as well in your world. Welcome to another Q&A Wednesday. Let's get going with question one. Okay, so question one today is what would you say the differences are between the Marshall MG HDFX, or, well, you can't see that one, but one of these, or the newer HCFX? From what I've heard playing through the CFX to the MG HDFX, the newer one is brittler sounding. It hasn't got as much mid-range, it doesn't have as much kind of clarity of sound, the speakers are terrible, they don't do the amp any favours whatsoever. They sound a little bit better, the amps do, when you run them into like a Celestian speaker, but they're just not, the CFX or the FX combos, they're just not very good in my opinion. They just don't sound right. The Marshall MG, the HDFX, they've got that Marshall-y kind of grunt, whereas the CFX, they always seem to be lacking in mid-range and low end. They're always very kind of thin and wispy sounding to me. I just don't like them, so that's the difference. The MG HDFX has always got that mid-range boomy kind of bark of a Marshall, whereas the CFX doesn't have that. It's all, the CFX has always sounded really thin, wispy and brittle to me. I just don't like them. I really do not like them at all. I've tried to kind of like find everything I can. I've worked with Joe's quite a lot to find something I like on it, but it's an okay sound, but it's not these. It's not an MG HDFX or just the DFX series. They were just brilliant, and I don't know why people like the CFX over the HDFX. It blows my mind. But yeah, each for their own and everything. But as an MG lover, I don't really like the CFX at all. Like I say, they don't have that mid-range poke that I like of a Marshall. And I say they just sound brittle and really fragile. They sound like the sound is kind of like, it's not very strong. Like if you were using it in a live situation, your sound would disappear. It feels like weak, if that makes any difference. And the louder it goes, it doesn't seem to get any better. It just seems to get weaker, in my opinion. It's a bit strange. I mean, I don't want to spend the whole time just ragging on it, because I really love some of the features of the CFX. I think the 4 channels on a store preset, I think is wicked. So no matter what happens, you can just do your settings. It's really cool. I love that setting. But and it almost makes me wish the MG HDFX was 4 channel, but it's just not there tonally. There's just something in it that's not quite right. I don't know, it's really hard to explain, but they just don't have the right kind of sound. When I think of a Marshall sound, I can get that sound of what in my head is a Marshall sound out of the HDFX. I can't get it out of the MG CFX or the FX series at all. It just isn't there. It just sounds really fragile and like I say, brittle, and it just doesn't, it's not there. So I'll say the main difference is definitely lack of low end, crap speakers, and no Marshall mid-range. It's a very weak mid-range. It's like a high mid-range, and it's just not the proper bark. It doesn't have that bark and that grunt of a Marshall. So yeah, that would be my main differences, and they feel wrong. That doesn't even make any sense. But they don't fill me full of kind of like, I want to play it. I don't feel inspired when I plug into one. Let's put it that way. And also, someone asked me the other day, would the CFX and stuff be good for John Frusciante sound? No, it wouldn't. It's okay, but if you want an amp that does John Frusciante sound, get a DFX or a HDFX. Get the head and the cab, because they just get closer without having to kind of like mess around. They're just the CFX and the FX series are just a little bit too finicky. So and you can get close, but you can't get as close as you can with an MG. So yeah, anyway, I hope that's answered that question. Moving on to question 2 now. Okay, so question 2 is, what are your favourite, top 5 favourite Red Hot Chili Peppers songs? Number one has to be Scar Tissue, just simply because of what was going on in my life when I was learning that song. It was one of the first Chili Pepper songs I learned, and because of what was going on at that time and what was literally going on the day I was learning the song, that song means the most to me. Almost out of any song in the world, almost, that song means everything to me, that song does. So Scar Tissue. Dosed would be the second one, and that's exactly the same. There's something about that song that was happening around the same period as Scar Tissue that Dosed means a lot to me as well. So that's two. I Could Have Lied, Don't Forget Me, and Salt to Squeeze. Yeah, that would be my five, definitely. But I'd say Scar Tissue and Dosed, there's something in them two songs. I think it's obviously because of what was going on when I hadn't learned Dosed at that point, but I'd learned Scar Tissue. I was learning Scar Tissue because of what was going on. They mean the most to me, and it's one of those songs. Scar Tissue and Dosed are those songs that kind of like upset me the most when I hear them, but I love them the most when I hear them, and when I play them, they take me somewhere that's very, very nice, but not nice at the same time. It's a total catch-22 thing. It's you know, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of thing. And as much as I love the songs, sometimes I don't, but I always love them. It's balmy. It's balmy. But I say there for reasons of my own. But yeah, those five songs are my top Chili Pepper songs. So yeah, moving on to question 4. Moving on to question 3 now. Okay, question 3. I got it right that time, even though my finger nearly did that. But anyway, question 3. Do you like Yamaha Pacificas? Yes, I do. I think Yamaha Pacificas are brilliant guitars, and maybe one day I'll actually get one. But I really like them. I remember trying. I've played a few and I've tried a few, and I haven't played a bad one. There was a few at the music college I was at in London. I really liked them. There was a guy on my course in London who had one, and that was a really nice guitar. Mr. Mike Bradley did a video on his Facebook recently of his Yamaha Pacifica, and it sounded immense. So yeah, I do. I think Yamaha Pacificas are great guitars. You know, for beginners up to any level, I think they'd be a great guitar. You know, because they're like that Strat style shape. You can upgrade them. You can mess around with them. You can do so much with them. I mean, they're really cool guitars. They really are cool guitars, and they feel nice to me. I think it's because I'm a bit of a Strat addict as well, so anything kind of Strat kind of style I love. But they are great guitars, Yamaha Pacificas. Absolutely awesome guitars. I mean, I'm sure there's some bad ones out there, but you know, that can be said for anything. You know, there's bad 59 Les Pauls out there, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know, there are going to be bad Yamaha Pacificas as well, but I haven't witnessed one yet. I've played only a few, about 3 or 4 of them, but I've loved every single one. And they keep cropping up for sale, and I'm like, oh, but they always crop up for sale when I don't have the money to buy one. It's like, damn you! But yes, I do love Yamaha Pacificas. Maybe one day I'll have one. Anyway, moving on to question 4 now, which is the final question of the day, as I've run out of questions. So link to my email to forward me questions is in the description box below, because I always forget to put it in, because again, I'm a bit stupid. So yeah, moving on to question 4 now. Okay, question 4, final question of the Q&A. I've been playing 6 years. Why is it when I play Jimi, Hendrix or John Frusciante, it doesn't sound like the record? Simply put, you're not them. You're not Jimi Hendrix, you're not John Frusciante, you're not in that recording studio with those amps, those leads, those pedals, those guitars, the air in the room, the temperature that day, the microphones, the recording crew, the mixing desk, the mastering, the mixing, the honing and everything else. You're not them. You can't kind of, you're never going to sound 100% like a record. It's not going to happen, because you're not them, and you're not at that period of time. You know, if you think of Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix, Voodoo Child Slight Return, that wah-wah intro, can you name any time after that Jimi did Voodoo Child Slight Return where that intro sounded exactly like the record? Because it didn't. It never did again. It was literally that point in time. What was going on at that point in time, that sound he had, the amp he had, everything at that point in time gave him that sound, and after that it was all different. If Jimi had come in, Jimi had recorded Slight Return that day and come in the next day and listened to it and gone, oh, I don't like that, I'm going to do it again, it would have sounded totally different. And there's actually an outtake of Voodoo Child Slight Return on YouTube. Well, there was, and I'm not sure if Jimi Hendrix has got a mix on it and took it off, but there was an outtake of Voodoo Child, and you can hear the sound is different on the first couple of takes, and I think that's they're kind of honing it in, and Jimi actually messes it up, but it's totally different. The wah-wah sounds different, the guitar sounds different, so it's very interesting, but it's simply, you're not going to sound like the record. You know, you're not that person. You're not got all those factors. Excuse me, at all. So you're never going to sound like them. It's just the way it is. I mean, on a good day to sound like a record, I don't know. I really don't. I don't think you could ever get 100%. Maybe 80% at a push, maybe. But the extra 20%. I don't think you'll do it. I mean, even if you have the same gear in the same room on a different day, you're not going to sound the same. John Frusciante talks about that a lot in Stadium Arcadium. He went back and double tracked, like the chorus for Stadium Arcadium, he double tracked that, but he didn't double track it on the same day. He double tracked it on a different day, so he would do the plectrum. He did that on one day, and then about a couple of weeks later, he would come back and he would double it, because the sound in the room and the sound of the microphones and the amplifiers had completely changed, and if you pan one right and left, you get a full stereo guitar sound, and it sounds humongous. So, and that's the purpose. It's two different guitar sounds, even if it's the same player, the same rig. You know, it all sounds different. So you're never going to sound the same as a record. A record captures a point in time that is never to be really repeated. It captures a tone and a sound that's never going to get repeated. You can get close back to this sound, but you can never repeat that exact tone. I mean, John Frusciante could never really recreate the exact tones of Stadium Arcadium live. There's always a slight discrepancy in the tone. So, so yeah, don't get downhearted about not sounding like the record. It's not the be-all and end-all. You know, just trying to kind of emulate it and get close to kind of like how these people play and the sound they have will almost give you your own sound. It'll give you your own sound, and it'll give you an idea of what you like and what you don't like. So so don't get despondent, don't get downhearted by not sounding like a record. It's not the be-all and end-all trying to sound like a record. Just play, just enjoy it. Don't get too hung up on, oh, does this sound like this? Because that's not going to happen. You know, it's never going to be perfect. Get as close as you can and just play and just have fun and forget the rest. Do not get hung up on little discrepancies and little finicky bits of, like, you know, oh, this doesn't quite sound like this, and spend hours tweaking your amplifier, because you're never going to get 100%. Get as close as you can and just leave it, you know, because you're just gonna end up kind of like in this cycle, and it's going to get depressing and it's going to beat you down, and it's not worth it. So so yeah, I hope that answers your question. It really is kind of important not to kind of get hung up too much on stuff like that, on trying to emulate tones 100%, because it's not going to happen. You know, you can only get so close because of certain factors that I just spoke about. Like, on the, like, you know, you've got to take into like consideration about 20% that, you know, or even more than 20% that, you know, you've got to take into consideration that, you know, you're not going to get it because of X, Y, and Z, you know what I mean? So, so yeah, anyway, I hope that answers your question. Like I said, don't get too despondent with it, just enjoy it, just have fun. You know, forget it sounding 100% correct and just have fun with it. So yeah, yeah, thank you very much indeed for the questions this week. Thank you very much for watching. As I said, the email link to send your questions in is in the description box below, because I forget to put it in on every video because I'm a bit of a fool. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again on Friday for another video. Hopefully, very busy at this point in time with doing things for Halloween, but hopefully I'll get a video done on Friday. If not, I will see you soon. Anyway, have a great morning, afternoon, good evening. Goodbye now. Goodbye now. Goodbye.